So we've invited the students here because this is a wildlife garden that's probably underused considering it's in the middle of the city. We want to find new ways to encourage people to come to the site, different ways for people to experience the site, and also, like anything, you need to have new things in order to encourage even the people who know about the site to keep coming back and to keep exploring and enjoying the site. When you see all the kids sort of get all giddy and excited and they run round, and I've got my favourite way of explaining it is that by the end of summer I'm sick of telling a child that it's like, well done for finding it, because they've all found it, the same thing, but to them it's the first time they found something, and they'll be like, I found this, it's amazing. And it's like grown-ups who are a bit like, we lose that innate sort of excitement of finding something new and that exploration and inspiration, and that's kind of what our job here is to do, to reintroduce that to adults as well as starting to introduce it to children and learning about things. And the new curriculum's got a lot about exploration, outdoors, wildlife, and even just simple things like seasonal changes, and they're all our baseline bits of knowledge that help us learn so many other things. So it's really important for kids to be here. But also in the same breath, it's lovely to see adults come after work here and sit and have a drink with friends, maybe have a picnic on a weekend, and just come and relax, as there's very few places in a city where you're completely undisturbed, and bar the odd car going by, that you can sit and listen to the butterflies and the bees and the birds and just see everything. I'm really lucky to work here. Have a brownie group, we'd start a group or a school group here, so we sit all the children down and start talking to them. Families come and have barbecues here in summer holidays, so it's a really, really well used space, but they tend to use the amphitheatre and not use any of the other space.
Yeah, I think this place definitely has potential, because you could create like sound-based things with like wind chimes, but obviously the sound is so gentle that they wouldn't disturb the wildlife. Because kids like to engage with sound, touch, etc. So if you created like a sculpture and it had like wind chimes and stuff for the kids to play with in the summer, like sticks and rods for them to touch, but obviously there'd be safety regulations.
So it's a bit more weatherproof. Yeah. People come in all kinds of weather.
There's no colour, there's no places to sit or stand.
Yeah. Suggestion for some seats. You have like a tarpaulin over the top to weatherproof it a bit.
Chris, I'm interested in the image of just trees. To counteract the nature. But something else that's other than nature, isn't it?
You can organise events like the music, and you could easily have like a little folk band or something.
This is a brilliant possibilities, but it's not very child friendly at the moment. It's too much concrete. Some great areas for interest with logs and the timber areas, but there's very little to introduce beds, there's no feeders, there's no nesting boxes. Not that I can see.
The last time I was here, my sister worked here, so I was quite young, so I can quite easily link back to my childhood here and seeing the animals and seeing the plants and how I interacted with them growing up, so, and how I always thought I could improve the place. I've always been very arty, so it was kind of quite easy to see, there could be a mosaic out here, or there could be something like mini sculptures in the trees. So, well, there's not a lot here, so. First I walked over to the woodpile and thought of children's books and how there could be like mini sculptures of wooden, kind of like brightly coloured kids' books and the characters in them, which led me onto this bit over here with the trees, which made me think of my own, like kind of in my own world when I was younger, and how I used to always believe in fairies and leprechauns and stuff like that, so I kind of thought of having silhouettes of fairies and other mythological creatures in the trees.
But yeah, where do you are?
Well, I have loads of ideas from walking around here, especially because they mentioned children a lot, so there's lots of ideas. You know, maybe you could put like chessboards, sort of human-sized chessboards around, and hopscotch markings on the floor as well, and things in the trees. And maybe we were thinking of a trail, weren't we?
Sculpture trail.
Yeah, like a sculpture trail of like sculptures of bugs but bigger, and then like the children can go follow it and get to like a place at the end, and there'll probably be like different facts about wildlife and insects.
As well.
Yeah, and learn about that as well as they're going along. So it's also good because then they can interact with each other, and it's more of a teamwork sort of thing rather than working on their own. And also like quite productive because they're learning as they're doing it as well as it's being fun. So I suppose if you cleared all this stuff, then there's so much you could do with it. You can like have really big like flower beds here, or sculptures and climbing frame.
Yeah, because at Yorkshire Sculpture Park they have like sculptures that you can play on them and stuff. So if you did stuff like that, it'd fit in quite well.
You need a rope swing.
I like the idea of like orienteering as well. If you get like little sculptures of like fairies and elves, and you make it as fantasy and eerie as you can, and they can go follow it around and find things. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put like geometric shapes around there, like quite colourful, vibrant things, but you'd have to be in contrast like with the whole area, unless you want it like completely standing out, but it'd still work. But
And then when the sun shines on it as well, then
you make them out of metal as well. You could hit them as well, so
yeah.
with sounds and stuff. So.
Yeah,
you could kind of make it like the
sounds is a
wind
good
tree
one.
is it near Manchester, the wind tree? That sculpture.
Singing ring and tree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Could be like that. But